Cottage pie was one of the dishes that my mum used to make. Delicious, absolutely delicious. It's comfort food. It's like the stuff that you eat when you really want. It's a really cold day. It's actually a really miserable day today, and this is exactly the kind of food that I really enjoy. Not too difficult to make. It's like almost like a ragu or a stew, and we eat it quite a lot in England. You've got two types. You've got cottage pie, which uses beef, and you've got shepherd's pie, which uses lamb. Today I'll be making cottage pie. To start with, I've got some mince. I'm just going to whack it in a pan. A little bit of olive oil to start with, and then the mince goes in. All I'm trying to do is just brown this mince. And then we use a selection of vegetables. You can say it's called cloche. It's quite an easy way to remember it then. And the reason I say cloche is we've got carrots. We've got leeks. I actually couldn't get any leeks, so I've got some spring onions. Onions are the O. Celery, or celeriac. And the H is your herbs. So I've got a selection of herbs, got some rosemary, and I've also got some bay leaves here that we'll be doing. I'm going to chop them up into chunks. And I've got red onions here, but you can actually use white onions. You can use whatever you've got in the cupboard. I just didn't have any white onions in the cupboard. So I'm just going to snipper these fine. I'll be probably doing a video on knife techniques in the future. I'm going to go with the carrots. Carrots give a lovely sweetness to it. These are the vegetables that you use if you're making a stew or you're making a soup. It's the base of all good cookery. Just chop them into chunks like this. And there we go. And now the celery. I've actually got celeriac, but you can also use celery if you haven't got celeriac. This is a brilliant ingredient. So if you see it in the supermarket or you see it on the veg store, just buy it because it's actually, it's got so much flavour. It tastes like it's quite nutty, quite aromatic as well. It looks very ugly, but some beautiful things come in ugly packages. Chop them into chunks. So plenty of veg in this, which is actually quite nice, fills it out a bit. In the corner over here, you see a pan that's bubbling away there. That's my potatoes. That's actually going to be the topping. So it's not a traditional pie where you top it with pastry, it's actually topped with mashed potatoes. Okay, these are spring onions. I don't mind using the whole thing actually. I mean, some people say that you have to chop off the green bits, but it also gives a lot of flavour. Same if you're using leeks. You're starting to look like the base of all your ragus. Actually the base of your tomato. It's actually the base of it's actually the base of a spaghetti bolognese. So there we go. It's probably not traditional this because I'm not sure if we eat a lot of garlic in England, but I do like putting a little bit of garlic in just to give it extra flavour. Whack it with the side of your knife, and then you can chop them as fine or as rough as you like. Chop them too fine, it does tend to be a little bit bitter. Yum, 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 starting to smell absolutely gorgeous. Now for the herbs. I like to use quite hardy herbs, and by that I mean things like rosemary, thyme. You could probably get away with oregano, but you're probably going more the Italian touch if you do oregano. Just chop it through, it doesn't have to be perfect. And this goes particularly well if you're making shepherd's pie with lamb, but it's also very nice with this. A couple of bay leaves to give it that aniseedy flavour. I'm just going to put a little bit of tomato puree in, not too much, maybe a teaspoon and a half. It just gives a little bit more richness. And then to flavour it, I've got a stock cube, So I'll just crumble that in. If you want this on the vegetarian tour, what you can do is you can use lentils instead of mince. It also gives a really meaty, full flavour. Looking great. And now let's get some flour in here. This works as like a binding middle. Spoonful of 2, I reckon. Whenever you add something like flour, always make sure that you cook it out a little bit, because otherwise you get that floury flavour, and we don't want any of that. And then I'm going to add some Worcester sauce, Rochester sauce, not a clue. So this stuff, delicious. If you want to go a little bit extravagant, you can always use a little bit of wine. Oops. So I'm just going to finish off with some water. I'm just going to let this bubble away for an hour or so. You can put it in the slow cooker if you've got one of those, just to make sure that all the flavour of the veg and the herbs and the meat all becomes one. So back in now. Potatoes have been on for about 25 minutes and you see they're nice and fluffy. I'm going to make a mashed potato. It's not a posh mashed potato, this one. It's got bits in it, it's a bit rough and ready. First of all, give it a good stamp with your favourite stamper. Because I do actually want a few chunks, I want a little bit of texture in my potatoes. And then we're going to put some richness in it in the form of butter, nice knob of butter, and also some milk. You could use cream, but I think it gets a little bit too heavy if you use cream. I've got some full milk here. I'm just going to spoon it through. That's probably about what we're looking for. Let's season it up, but first of all give it a taste. Put a little bit of salt while it was cooking. Oh, mashed potatoes, great. Yum, yum, yum. A little bit of black pepper. And then we can play Bob the Builder. Start off with serving dish. Let's put the ragu in. This has been on for about an hour now. I don't want ragu at the bottom like that. And then we're going to dot it with mashed potato. It makes it easier to spread out if you don't put it all in one go. So just put like bumps and lumps over your whole dish. Because if you try and put it in and then spread it out, it's not going to work. And you can see, lovely hearty dish this, absolutely fabulous. And then with a fork, just make it rough and ready. Like I said, we're not doing a posh ooh la la today. I mean, you could pipe it out and make it look all really nice and stuff. But this is your rough and ready cottage pie. So the reason I use a fork is I want those little crevices, those little points, because then all those will become really, really crispy. It's exactly what you want. Some nice cheese on top. You can use cheddar, Gruyere, Edam, whatever you fancy. Maybe a bit of Parmesan cheese just to give it a little bit of a hit. And I'm going to whack this under the grill for about 5 or 6 minutes. Good. Okay. Oh, it smells so gorgeous. Can't wait. Look at this beauty. Ta-da! Absolutely fabulous. How easy is this? It's something you can make during the week. It's a fabulous, simple, tasty dish. Now let's have a look what it looks like. How fabulous does that look? Thanks very much for watching, and until the next time.